Hello and welcome. Today our plan was to get all the way across and get this piece set in so that we could have the rear lights be able to put back in. Although upon inspection and trying to get the piece to fit, I noticed that this entire rear quarter that I put on is actually about a whole inch or so low down here. So this section is actually a smidgen low, and there's a few parts that don't particularly line up in the front either. So we're going to be having to redo that. Although, because I want to get the rest of the car not being super rusty for now, we're going to switch over to the engine bay and get in the battery apron. So as you guys can see here, this entire battery tray has been eaten out. And then I was originally thinking about just replacing this section, but then I also saw that this hole was just not quite right. So instead of trying to cut a very particular piece that's going to fit in and potentially not line up along this seam here with how the new is versus the old, there's probably some old dings and dents that just aren't going to line up quite right. I noticed that we've got 4 bolts holding it in down here, and then on the back side we've got an overlap weld going on. So this piece was literally just kind of slapped on and then bolted in and welded in. So we're going to be doing something a little bit similar, but we're going to try and peel it up, slide her into place, weld her in, bolt her in, call it a day. So let's get cutting. So we've got everything cut out, and I went ahead and cleaned the area all the way around that we're going to be welding. I did one initial test fit where I noted I had to cut this out right here and then grind a little bit more in here. So we're going to do our second fitting in here, see if it all matches up, and then if it does, I'm going to spray this inside with some undercoating so there's no rust underneath it once it's put in. While that dries, I'll go get some dinner since I haven't eaten today, and then we'll come back and get to welding. All right, so it looks like we are very close. Although, if we line this guy up, we can see that we need to come this way, and what's blocking us is this down here. So I'm gonna get the hammer and give her a smacking. All right, looks like she fits. Looks like she fits. So we're gonna do some undercoating, and while that dries, whenever we see you in about 2 hours. Today we are going to be cleaning this entire engine bay. We're going to be using a wire wheel and a sanding disc on an angle grinder in order to get this all down, not quite to metal, to make sure we get all the flaky rust and paint all the way along the inside. And then afterwards, I'm going to hit it with some undercoating so we never have to worry about rust again. And with that said, let's get started. As you can see, we still have the shock towers as well as the shocks still in, and the entire steering column is in, so we ended up cleaning around that. Once I get to cleaning the entire underside of the vehicle, including the sway bars, the steering linkage, and the, I guess that's just the lower support, and the engine mounts. We're gonna rip all that out and then finish the cleaning, but for now we're gonna get all the way around and get as much as we can. Now that I've gotten as far as I can with the wire wheel, we're gonna grab the laser lugger over here and zap the rest. Bruce's engine bay is all cleaned up and coated. Next time we're gonna move on to the floor pans.